What's shaking, what's shaking, what's shaking? It's just conversation. Peace to anybody the first time joining us on the pod. Shout out to everybody that been showing me love and been tuning in and, people what I've been having to say and building with me and leaving their comments. I appreciate it. Salute. Today I want to get into something a little bit more that's hit home for like our culture as a people, because they claim we don't have no culture. And I understand a lot of people say hip hop is our culture, but it's a lot deeper than that. But the main part is music, hip hop, and our culture. And back in the days when we had our thing going on with the music, the Naughty by Nature, the Nas, the Biggie, people before that era always say, oh, that music is trash and this and that. But even they admit later on down the line it was good music, because we all know music consumes the soul. Like it gets you going. If you're going through hard times, it gets you through it. And sometimes it can negatively influence you if you don't know how to perceive it. And I think the masses, and those know what I mean, the masses knew this, and when they learned how to capitalize and take control over something that we started from the street, not saying just me, anybody that indulged in music, the forefathers of hip hop. And I'm not gonna front. And when coming up, my mom listened to Tina Turner, Patti LaBelle, and Otis Red, and then that old backyard boogie music that stroking and all that. You feel what I'm saying? And Friday nights they drink their little Valentine Ale, Coke 45, Old English, had company, smoke their little bamboo, whatever. Weed. Do they want to think? Throw the kids in the back room and all the adults go up front, play cards, whatever the case may be, listening to music. Al Green, whatever. You know the vibes. We come from that. You know what I'm saying? And me as a young dude, I remember those tunes. I ain't gonna front. Even to this day, if I'm riding, I might throw it on and go way back there and take a ride. But when it came to actual hip hop, you know what I'm saying? The people, the masses, took it and knew that it controlled our communities. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not saying the music nowadays and today is trash, but to me personally, it's not memorable. It's not nothing I would foresee in the future and reminisce and say, remember when this song was out, and I could place where I was at and what I was doing. If it was a song from back then, Michael Jackson or whatever the case may be, or even, KRS One, Big Daddy Kane, I knew where I was at. I knew what I was feeling. I knew what I was going through. It took, anytime I hear that, it take me to a certain place. Let me say it like that. When I hear these old original tunes, it take me back. And it's like, nowadays they control the market on the music, because it's not authentic like it used to be. Because you didn't just pop up in the morning and say, I want to be a rapper. Let me throw some jewelry on and create an image and get on the internet and people gonna buy my music. No, it wasn't like that. You really had to have talent back then, and we don't look for talent the way and I know things evolve, but we don't look for talent like we used to. You used to go to local little school talent shows and stuff like that, and that's when you found pure talent. When the masses got a hold of it, it's like, nah, we can't let somebody, we're gonna do it our way. We're gonna give you an image off the rip and this and the third, and we're gonna make you a sensation overnight. All you gotta do is sign a dotted line and whoop, 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 sell your soul. And I'm pretty sure it was going on in the 70s. I'm pretty sure it was going on in the 70s. But we didn't know. They masked it real good. I'm pretty sure Diana Ross, Mahogany, and stuff like that, those movies showed you how they took people with talent and, took control of their soul, and at the same time emotionally damaged certain people with the music. And we didn't know this. We just having a good time. We going to house parties. We going to clubs. We want to release some stress after work. Or you hustling on the block, you want to enjoy yourself, you want to go in an atmosphere where it's happening, and hip hop did that. I'm not taking nothing from R&B. You feel what I'm saying? Because technically, when R&B got overthrown, that's when our people just, because back then, even when dudes getting little scuffles, whatever the case may be, we still listen to Jodeci. We still listen to certain music that kind of like, you feel what I'm saying? Nowadays, they don't have that. And even with the R&B, not taking nothing, like once again, not taking nothing from them, but look at the dynamics of how it play out. You feel what I'm saying? They got to be talking about, in the song, literally saying, I'ma eat you, you can suck my. Back then they left room for the imagination. You feel what I'm saying? I'm stroking, stuff like, I swear, stuff like that. You knew what they were saying, but they didn't actually say on the radio. And due to the fact that they were censored. But nowadays, the masses that control it said, hey, let it all hang out there, finger fuck their minds, distract them, and basically, take over their whole, and they did that. With that being said, look at the generation now. Not taking them from them. Everybody got their time and their era. But look at our generation now. Ain't too much love, nothing. Because even back then, dudes could be hustlers, gangsters, whatever. But they had a spot in their heart where, you see gangsters riding around listening to old school R&B and stuff like that. They had time to make love to their woman or, show some type of compassion, at least in a relationship, even if they was hard on the street. Nowadays, everything shoot them up, gang, gang, bang, bang. These young women know, they talking about, oh, Shimmery is dead. Well, listen to music. Listen to the music that they listen to. Bend over, crack it open. And I'm not trying to sound like how Pop was and House Party. Stop playing that goddamn Public Enemy. Nah, because I do listen to the music because, I love music. So I'm going to listen to all types of different music, whether it's country, rock, soft rock, contemporary, hip hop, you name it. If I like the song, I'm going to sing it. Snow Patrol, I listen to all that. I'm diverse with it. So when I speak on this, I'm speaking from a place of, it's not so much of the children today putting the music out, it's the masses that control it. And parents, y'all allow it. Y'all allow it. Back then, even like I just sung the song Stroking. You know how long it took for me to say that? Back then, if I'd have sung that song sitting around the elders, I'd have got popped in my mouth. Nowadays, these kids be 4, 5, twerking and all. And the parents think it's cute. The funny thing about that is these same people will turn around and say, oh, that gang banging this and the third, cute, and complain about certain things, but turn around, let their child do obscene things to music and put them on the internet and think that shit is cute. It may not be as dangerous as gang banging and stuff like that, but it ain't too far-fetched from destroying their minds. Parents don't, they don't censor or come down hard on the kids about what they listen to, and especially with this internet thing. Kids just sign in and just listen to anything or see anything, you feel what I'm saying? And it's like these people push this narrative on our people, and it's kind of like dumbing us down. Literally. Ain't nothing, like I said, in my life, ain't nothing on a little bit of ass shaking or whatever you're going to do, but it's not for everybody. It has to be some like security for the young, because that's grown folk music. You feel me? People will knock Sexy Red. Yeah, I ain't knocking her. I'm just saying her performances and her music is not for all audiences. And some of y'all don't care, men and women alike. Y'all sit back and ride around and make videos with your kids, singing in the backseat. But one thing I'm not going to do is play that game with my kids. My children, I'm not going to sit there and let them listen to what I listen to. A few of them, they're older now. If they want to go bump that, they can do that. They're at the age where they know what's going on. But at a certain point or a certain age, it should be prohibited. Once again, if it's not broke, why are we trying to fix it? We get to the point where I don't want to do what they did back in the days and I want to be more free. See, just because you're free don't mean you keep structure. Hip hop is a beautiful thing. Music itself is a beautiful thing. It does. It soothes the soul. Sometimes I meditate, just throw some music on, sit back and replay my day or reminisce or whatever the case may be. You feel me? But it got to be a point where we say enough is enough, man. We not saying you can't have your Sexy Reds and your Cardi B's and your, Jacqueeses and stuff like that. What I'm saying is put a cap on that shit when it comes to children. You feel what I'm saying? You want to make money off of records that bad, and the masses push it. But the thing about it is the consumers have more control than they realize. Y'all want to boycott when somebody black get jumped on or whatever the case may be, or when it comes to race and stuff like that. But we got a poison right here in our own backyard with our music, especially hip hop. And then on top of that, it gets to the point where you put an age cap on hip hop, but other genres of music, they get to rock forever. A rock and roll star can do tours till they dead in 60, whether it's Kiss, Black Sabbath, or whoever. Don't nobody tell them, you too old to be doing rock and roll. But when it comes to our people, it's a cap on it. You know why they put a cap on it? Because the older you become and you make it, and if you do make it, even with all the deaths in hip hop and stuff like that, if you do make it, you become wiser. Prime example, Prince, Michael Jackson. When they got to a certain age, they started talking a little bit different. They started enlightening brothers on how to keep get their masters and own their rights to their music. And the masses don't want that. That's why they push negativity. Even Busta Rhymes said it back in the day, 30 times a day it will make you deliver us. You're right. Because they keep drilling you with it, pushing it on you to the point where you just, now you know the words and you ain't even got to really like the song. When are we going to take back what we originally started? How come hip hop was started by those who come from hard times, but they see the bottom of the barrel after they sell out tours and stuff like that? And these kids, they promote the videos and the kids and stuff. They think, oh, I got to have chains like that. I need me a Cuban with ice on it. I want it iced out and this and the third. And I got to run around with bottles of rosé and this and the third. Everybody in that equation getting money except for the actual artists. And I'm not saying all artists are broke. You feel me? I don't know too much about behind the scenes of what they do as far as like sign their contract and blood with the devil and all that. I don't know about all that. I'm not saying it don't exist. I done seen some things that'll make me believe that could be possibly true. Because they brought the thing out with Puffy, and I'm pretty sure this been going on before Puffy. Clyde Davis, way back with Jennifer Hudson. There's a lot of questions on all of a sudden before you get famous, you lose somebody valuable in your life. I'm just a messenger. And on top of that, I'm only going by what I see. Everybody ain't dumb, deaf, and blind. I view what's going on. But that's just me. And a few others that see the same thing, but we outnumbered by the dumb, deaf, and blind. We got to take back what's ours. We don't find talent like we used to back in the days when they had talent shows, and these kids don't have no incentives. We had that back in the days. Even if we did end up gangbanging or whatever the case may be, whatever you decide to do, we had incentives. We had parks to go to, recreation centers. They took anything that'll keep you from killing yourself or committing genocide away from the youth. And we let them. You can say what you want. We, the older generation. We let them. You had that chance to go to water parks and stuff like that. And what you gonna say? These young dudes get there, they get to shooting and get these people a reason. Yeah, they do, but you're the parent. You can blame gangs all you want, but you're the parent. So you mix the parent not parenting with the masses pushing out music that's all negative music. Because any artist that talks positive, they get a few spins on the radio, but they get drowned out. You rather hear nigga, bitch, bend over. Let me suck it, let me eat it. Man, some of that thing you gotta leave room for the imagination. Because it gets to the point where I don't care too much for that. It's too easy. Especially with women and men. Men like to hunt. You feel me? For those who, and if you're in a relationship, which she need a room, and be like, yeah, I agree with you, bro. We don't like not me anyway. I never like for a woman to come on to me. That's not, you killed the whole vibe of the chase, the hunt, me being a man and saying, I'm a holler at shorty. You pull up, and before all the allegations, nigga was bumping R. Kelly. A lot of y'all done got skins to R. Kelly. If you know the word skins, you know what that meant back in the days, piping skins, we pulled up R. Kelly with the finesse or whatever you listen to, Keith Sweat or Gerald Levert or Tank. We had that. That's what gave you a little bit of, it wasn't so, we didn't have to be all gangster when we came around women. You pipe that shit down when you pull up the shorty crib. You feel what I'm saying? and you shoot your shit. Nowadays, these little dudes and these females, it be so raw off the rip. We fucking or what? And it's all influenced by music. Because every parent ain't teaching their kids, just be nasty when you grow older. No, we got lazy in parenting. Music and certain things in the street took over whatever. And now we stuck with this situation where we looking crazy out here. The kids lost. And I'm not saying every single one of them, but the majority, this is what the fuck is going on. And you know drama ain't lying. These kids talk back to their parents. Because, you know, I don't put my personal business out there because I go through it myself. The stuff these kids do, and this ain't got nothing to do with no big mama, because they ain't no big. I had an Aunt Eunice. And she wasn't with the bull. She wasn't loud, and she was one of the sweetest people in the world. But you cross that line, and if she get a switch, you deserved it. And that's how it went down. That's what kept us in order. Regardless if I did end up doing XYZ later on in life, that was my decision as I got older. But when I was younger, boy, I stayed in my place. You feel me? When the older folks listen to that old music, that backyard boogie music, like I was saying, girl, I know you're not going to sing that song. Y'all know how it go. We wasn't in the kitchen. And very rarely, you know, your aunties and them sit you on your lap while they playing cards. Let you pick out the cards while they playing the music in the background. But we didn't know what it meant. And they wouldn't allow us to. So y'all need more big mamas and Aunt Eunices in your house. Rest in peace to my auntie. But back to the topic. The music, nowadays, this is what raised your children. You got kids that could be anything in the world, lawyers and anything in the world. But, you know, these people, the masses, give them this image of, you know, what hip-hop consists of. And they'll disregard having a trade or anything because it's so easy to become a rapper, but it's so hard to obtain everything that you work hard for when you become an artist. They don't tell you that part. They don't tell you the rapper, then they get paid. Jay-Z to make it look real good. I'm just speaking on me. Let me have been an artist. I made my first couple of mil. I'm going to invest it in something that's going to generate generational wealth. We create the style, they get paid off it. We make it look good, they get paid off it. That's why I was never big into designer like that. I'm not saying I ain't never wear designer stuff, but it wasn't nothing I was infatuated with. But at the same time, my mind as a man is saying, why am I making this? I'm busting my ass to make another motherfucker rich. Think about it. Yeah, it's cool to have nice things some of the time. And once again, you know, it's my money. I do what I want. Well, if you got children or you really saying you an entrepreneur or you building for the future, see, y'all will copy everything the colonizers do, far as like riches and fame, but you don't follow the part where they leave stuff for their children. Yeah, I don't think you heard me. You do everything that these other white tees do except for save your money and pass it down to your kids. They control hip-hop, the narrative of hip-hop and R&B. And it got to the point where they showed you, we gonna drown R&B out and give them this shit. The guns and the fly cars, the jewelry, the women shaking their ass. They're gonna say, well, back in the days, men sung songs and called us bitches. And yeah, and that wasn't right either. That was the true essence of hip hop. You had the Africa Bambatas. In the rap videos, they didn't have Cuban links with diamonds on it, because once again, you're making jewelers rich. They didn't have that. They had the black medallions. Back to Africa, the red, black, and green and stuff like that. We really rocked with each other. Yeah, you had the Big Daddy Kanes and little hip hop. Always been a competitive sport. You feel me? But nobody was dying. These people get a hold of it. They promote more negativity because they know we love music. Our body, our minds react to it a certain way. Not everybody, but the majority of us, and especially the youth nowadays. And I'm not blaming NBA YoungBoy. They think they got and all these other guys, they think and these Chicago rappers and New York and California, and all they talk about is gang, this and bitch, ho, poor liquor. But what's crazy to me is, it's not them. They think they got the recipe to success. When all they doing is actually getting their money, and even with them getting their money, once again, I tell you, they get in the bottom of the barrel. They're going to have to bust their ass or really make a negative influence for them folks to cut them a check to keep on doing it, to keep our people suppressed and oppressed. Then you got the gatekeepers, your Fat Joes, your Rick Rosses, your Jay-Z's. I don't care. Block me. I don't care. As long as the message get out and somebody wake up and start paying attention to what's going on around them. We can talk about the deaths of people that been in a circle with these people. They're going to tell you it was health problems. And it ain't just New York rappers. It's them dudes in Houston, Atlanta. Atlanta, not even Atlanta no more in the hip hop scene. This is what they do, make a mockery of our culture. The forefather started it. The forefather started it. And you think at this time, why is only selected few become millionaires and billionaires? And for those who become millionaires and billionaires, look at the message they shoot to your kids. Even to some of you grown folks. When we gonna wake up and take control of our own destiny again? Stop misleading our people, man. If you ain't really for the movement and the betterment of our communities, fall back or fall back. Till next time, you already know what it is. Just conversation.